Hello and welcome back to the High School Football Alliance. This is our second game tonight of our doubleheader. We got the International Comets 2-1 on the season taking on the also 2-1 Southeast Raiders. This is going to be a battle of some really good teams, really two of the top defenses when it comes to points allowed. We got the number one points allowed team in the Raiders, only allowing 57 on the season, and the Comets only allowing 63. Should be a defensive slugfest. And how do you think this game's going to shake out, Hammer?
I think it's going to come down to the offenses, and both these defenses we know are going to show up. But the offenses, those have been the tricky part. International got off to a slow start against the Cobras, and it ended up costing them. But second half, they got it together. Caspian Caldwell put together some good drives. The question is, will they be able to get out of the gates quickly and find some movement against this Southeast defense that's very good against the run and can shut down Benji Bailey? On the other side, the Southeast Raiders, they've struggled on offense through the first couple weeks, and it's been their kind of Achilles heel. Can they find something going other than just Cameron Davis? I think the offense that finds the most early success is going to be the one to win the game.
All right, let's get down to the field and into the action here in sunny, well, not sunny anymore, but the night skies here in Florida. We're going to be having the home team is the Raiders, away team, Comets. Let's see who's going to get the football first to start off this contest.
It's always sunny in Florida, except when it's nighttime. I don't, now that I realize that we're in Florida, I'm not quite sure why the Raiders wear all black in the Florida heat, but I guess that just makes them more manly men, right?
Just got to do it, Tough as nails.
Tough as nails. Again, look at these two teams. Caspian Caldwell, we mentioned him. He's been very good, and I think underratedly good. Jasper Ives on the other side, a little bit of a gunslinger. He's been up and down. What do you think the key is for Jasper Ives getting into a groove early in this game?
Ives, he's got to take care of the football. Last week, he had a touchdown. He was 17 of 29, just 58%. He's got to be a little bit more efficient. Only 142 yards. That's a season low for Ives. He also threw a pick and was sacked 2 times. So I want to see a little bit more efficiency out of him because he's going up against another gunslinger in Caldwell, who was 37 of 45 last week in International's first loss on the season. To South Central, 26-22 was the final in that one. But, 302 yards for Caldwell. He only had 1 touchdown, 2 picks, though.
Yeah, in Caldwell, he hasn't been asked to do a whole lot. Like you mentioned, they've been relying on their defense, relying on Benji Bailey, and having Caldwell pretty much just sit back and pick apart defense from there. He's going to have to do a little bit more in this game, I think, because this Southeast defense is extremely hungry. And we're going to see that defense starting off first as the Comets are going to get the ball first.
Yeah, we're going to see Caldwell on that offense first. Now, last game, he manufactured the longest drive in High School Football Alliance history, a 99-yard touchdown drive. Let's see if he has a little bit more magic in him here today.
And hopefully that magic, for Comets fan, hopefully that magic comes a little bit earlier in the game instead of waiting until the dying moments. They came up just short against South Central in the game of the week. On the other side of the Raiders, they beat the Eagles, who dropped to 0-4 earlier tonight. They beat them 28-20. And both these teams kind of trending different directions, but both need a win in a competitive country standings. Benji Bailey's going to spin to the outside for a gain of 7.
Yeah, good run for Bailey to start off this one. You gotta get him going early. Last game, he really struggled against the Lions. He was 25 of 39, 25 carries, 39 yards, no touchdowns. He fumbled for the first time. They lost that fumble. And South Central, capitalized. They went on down the field and scored a touchdown, I believe. It was just a tough game for him.
Bailey getting started early, breaking tackles down the field, and he is all the way to the Raider side of the field. And Benji Bailey, you mentioned him getting going early, being a key. Well, he is getting going early.
Yeah, he had a player of the game performance just 2 weeks ago. So it was really surprising to not only us, but some of the fans out there that Bailey really struggled last week.
1st and 10 now. Going to be hand off to Bailey outside, and he's going to fight forward for a gain of 5.
Yeah, I absolutely love that they're going to him early. He's got about half the yards already that he had last week against a really stout defense led by Walter Cokes, number 54, as you see him right there. Cokes had a great game as well. 7 tackles, 2 assisted, 1 for loss, and a pick in their win over North Central.
International, the favorites in the Discord. You can join the Discord link in the description. The first pass of the day is going to be knocked away by Walter Cokes.
Yep, Cokes right on cue, making another play. He's got some tackles already. Nice deflection there. And early on in this ball game, this is a crucial play. I know it's really early, but as you've mentioned, these teams gotta start off a little bit faster and have a little bit more urgency. See what the Comets can do here.
Comets lining up at the 41-yard line. Caldwell, his second throw of the game. He's good protection to throw across the middle, and it's going to be called 4th and inches. I thought he was across the line, but I believe that was Morabito on the reception.
No, that was Lewis Simmons, number 80, that made the catch, the number 1 target for Caldwell.
I believe that was Lewis Simmons on the reception.
Yeah, he was 100% past the line of scrimmage. They're not even going to look at this, so we're going to see Riddell Sidney punt us away from the 36-yard line. And if you're the Comets, this is not what you want to see.
Controversy already striking. They're going to go for a fake punt, but we already know how these ones work. Unfortunately, that play is broken in all pro football, and it's going to cost the Comets there a little bit of home cooking maybe from the Raiders here. But Sammy Rivera getting his first tackle of his young career.
Yeah, the right guard, the starting right guard. And that's actually technically going to count as a sack somehow. But my goodness, what a disaster that play was for the Comets. And welcome Parker Thomas in the chat. What up, Parker?
First and 10. Ives getting great field position here. First throw is going to be a throw to Cameron Davis, who spins out 1, but only gets 2.
Yeah, Davis had a really good game last week. 23 carries, 101 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also had 9 yards receiving out of the backfield, and they're getting him started early on in the passing game here. Let's see if they go after their top targets, though. The receivers didn't do a lot last week for Southeast.
2nd and 8 for Ives. See if they go to Davis for his first carry, or they're going to throw it again. Ives with it, going to throw it. And that's going to be knocked away. Good coverage there by number 21. It's going to be 3rd down.
Yeah, that was Julius Helming, the strong safety for International. He had a good game as well last week. 2 tackles and a pick that he returned 32 yards for the Comets. So definitely a player to watch out for in that secondary.
Welcome to the chat, Stefan Ford. Good to see you. Hope you're doing good. Long time no see. It's really been a long time.
We've missed you.
3rd and 8 now for the Raiders. See if they can fare better on 3rd down. Deep throw. It's going to be incomplete. Hit his man in the hands, but could not bring it down. That was an interesting throwing motion there from Ives.
Yeah, that was a really awkward one. Just not sure what happened. Oh, he got hit by his own lineman, but you know what? He had enough arm strength to get that out there to Roosevelt Horton, who just forgot his hands on the bus. Horton last week, I mean, he didn't do anything. He had 2 catches for 10 yards and a drop. That's his stat line from week 3.
It's a stat line I would want to forget if I was Roosevelt right there. I mean, with
Absolutely.
a name like Roosevelt. Ivan Roosevelt. Yeah. This time the punter will actually punt the ball away. And this will be fielded at about the 11. And they're not going to get much more. 16 is where the Comets are going to get started here on that drive. That was Quentin Morabito. And what do you expect to see from Caldwell, Benji Bailey in the offense?
I'd like to see him get the ball to Benji Bailey again. He had a couple really nice runs on the last drive. They should have had the first down with Simmons. I thought the head coach should have thrown the flag on it, but ended up in a punt. So we've seen just punt after punt so far tonight, and it's the opposite of how we wanted this game to start.
Duke Wesley didn't throw the flag there. See if it comes back to bite him, but throw out to Benji Bailey, and Benji Bailey's going to get the first down. You mentioned getting him involved. Well, it doesn't have to just be in the run game. Passing game, too. He's a threat.
Absolutely. Just any way that you can get the ball into this young man's hands, he can hurt a defense. It doesn't matter if it's one of the best defenses in high school right now. He can make you pay. And a great play there, just dragging defenders, and gets about 13 yards. Already up to 28 yards rushing. He had just 39 last week.
He is the lone back in the backfield now for this one. A toss play for him, and he's going to get tackled in the backfield and sniffed out perfectly.
Yeah, and that was number 53, Dexter Lopez for the Raiders. These linebackers for the Raiders are fantastic. We've been calling a lot of linebacker names these last couple weeks, but the Raiders, I think, have the best trio back there. Lopez last week, 4 tackles, 2 assisted, and 1 tackle for a loss, and already starting off good here.
Well, when you have Walter Cokes, it's easy to have a good combination of linebackers. Second down play now after the loss for the Comets. It's going to have to be a throw. Caldwell under pressure, throws it deep. It's going to be tipped away, and he was a little bit pressured. I think that affected the throw there because that was a good coverage.
Yeah, I think that was Tony Conley, and it was the strong safety number 28 who had the deflection on the play. Very good play. Man, Caldwell definitely shaking his head there. He wants that pass back. Needs to get a little bit more air under that, and that might be 6.
Third down and long coming up. Both defenses coming to play like we expected. Offenses have not shown up too much here. We'll see what happens here on third down. Caldwell going to move around the pocket. Throws it deep left side. Tipped up off the helmet and almost picked off, but it will fall to the ground harmlessly, and the punt unit comes out.
Yeah, and that was Walter Cokes. Again, he's already got 2 deflections on the night here in the first quarter, and we're not even 5 minutes into the ball game, and we're seeing our third punt as well, as Riddell Sidney's going to come out for this one.
Hopefully this time he actually punts the ball away.
I would hope so.
Didn't hurt him too much there, but never like to see your punter just stand there. Punt is away, and it's going to be not much of a return, and that's going to be where the Raiders started. Another good field position for Southeast. They couldn't take advantage of it last time. Can they take advantage of it this time?
Yeah, I'd like to see them try to get their running back Cameron Davis going. Like I said before, he hit the century mark last week, 2 touchdowns, had a really good performance, and without him, I don't know if they actually win that game in week 3 against North Central.
First down 10. They're going to start in the shotgun formation. Ives, though, making a couple adjustments. See something in the defense. Let's see what he adjusted. It's going to be a throw. Throws it deep, and he has a go route. To the man that he adjusted to. He called an audible, and then he threw it to him, and there was a big pickup. That's the fullback.
Wow, Brad Woods with a big-time reception. I love seeing the fullbacks out here making plays. And how often do you see that on a go route? That's crazy.
What an adjustment there from Jasper Ives. He saw something in that defense. He made the adjustment, and then he capitalized on it. And now the Raiders in the Comet side of the field. First down and 10 now for Ives. He's going to throw it again. He's going to throw underneath, and that's going to be Willie Morris, his first catch of the day.
Yeah, Willie Morris, definitely his top target on the season, and it's not even close. I mean, Morris last week, 6 for 60, had a touchdown. Now listen to the numbers for the top 3 receivers. They combined for 8 catches, 60 yards, and a drop compared to Morris's 6 for 60 and a score.
My goodness, not the stat line you want. Ives moving around. He's going to throw behind the line of scrimmage to Davis, who manages to salvage a no gain out of that one, but nothing much there. Good coverage from the Comets defense.
Yeah, 3rd and 4 coming up from the 31. I'm not sure you're in field goal range for Tim Markham right now. He's a little bit cold. He didn't attempt a single field goal last week, so I want to get this first down here for sure. Do an out route.
3rd and 4. Let's see what they draw up. Receiver's very slow off the line, but it will be caught. There's going to be a pass interference call on the field, though. He was looking for Morris.
Yeah, Morris drops it at the end there, but definitely interfered with. Let's get the official call here.
R62 confirming our suspicions. That will be a first down for the Raiders off the pass interference. But one thing I noticed on those receivers there was something messed up with the snap count because they got off the line very, very slowly. They're lucky to convert that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the center, Benny Bogle, snapped the ball early or what, but the receivers, they were definitely not expecting the play to be starting at that very moment.
First down and 10 here. Let's see what they have in store. Ives, good protection across the middle, caught, and that's a gain of 6.
Yep, and that is going to be Eric Owens. Now, he had 6 for 50 last week, so he was the number 2 target for Ives in a rough game. Carter had 0 catches, so it'll be interesting to see if they try to get the ball out to the slot receiver, Ryan Carter, tonight. But again, Horton, I mean, he was a no-show, 2 for 10 with a drop. So, they got to spread the ball out a little bit more.
Pass play again from Ives, out route, and it's going to be caught, but he can't stay on his feet. I didn't think he got touched, but apparently he gave himself up, and that will be Lowell Gates for a gain of a couple.
Yeah, the backup tight end making a nice little reception there. It looked like the defender dove over him, but 3rd and 2 at the 15. Maybe give it off to your big bruising running back, Cameron Davis.
3rd and 2. Yeah, we haven't seen a run from Davis really, I don't think, in this game. They will run it to him here. Davis with a lane, and Davis with a touchdown, just saving him for the touchdown as he's. I don't know who he was flexing on because there's no fans on that side of the field, but touchdown Raiders nonetheless.
So what I was saying was get the ball to Cameron Davis, and you might have some pretty good success here tonight. He had 2 touchdowns last week, starting off this one good as well with a touchdown. And I don't think anybody laid a single finger on him as the Raiders take the lead here in the first.
He won player of the game last week. He won player of the game last week, and he got a couple votes for player of the week. He had 23 rushes for 103 yards, 2 touchdowns, already a touchdown on the day for him in this one. He came in second, very close behind Zach Barr last week in player of the week voting, and he already looking like trying to put another case together for that.
Yeah, he definitely deserved to get a couple votes because, like I said before, I don't think the Raiders win that game without him. So he definitely made the biggest impact for the Raiders last week.
Kick is away, and Comets have to find something on offense as the Raiders draw first blood here at home. And good tackle there at the 29.
Wow. He got hit so hard. That's a defensive tackle running full speed. That's Joseph Washington, number 96, on kickoff. Oh, my goodness. I can't even imagine getting hit by a man that size that fast.
Yeah, I'd prefer not to imagine that.
I like my limbs to stay intact.
And my organs, I like them arranged how they are now. We're going to do a delay, but Caldwell's going to run it. Caldwell left side, and Caldwell gets a first down. The biggest run from a quarterback I think we've seen all season. And being Caldwell, gets the first down. And you can see the Raiders are pretty upset. They thought they had that in the backfield.
Yeah, well, this was a busted play. This was supposed to be a handoff. That was a delayed handoff, but the pressure was so quick from Curtis Rhodes. He's tackling the running back as Caldwell is trying to hand it off, and just great awareness by the quarterback. And how about Caldwell trying to spin out the defensive back? I love to see it.
You really do. And now first down for the Comets here at the 45-yard line.
Great turn up field there. Not sure who that is. What is that number? 82, Dan Jackson, his first catch of the night. Picks up 10 yards, 2nd and inches coming up. Jackson didn't really do a whole lot last week. Simmons had a really big game, 12 for 142 yards and a touchdown. Royal, the tight end, had a fantastic game as well, 9 for 87.
2nd and inches, see what they go to here on a spec, maybe a ground game. It's going to be the Benji Bailey. Bailey almost had one.
Man, great vision from Bailey again. And, just keep feeding him. He is such a beast. Just he gets better as the game goes on as well, and he's already off to a really good start. So just keep going to your playmaker. All right, 1st and 10 from the 43-yard line. Caldwell under center, and he's going to drop back to throw this one. All day to throw it, goes over the middle, and they're going to pick up 6 yards as that is Dan Jackson yet again, number 82. So, Dan Jackson getting some receptions on this drive, 2 so far. And they're going to come out in the I formation, and, I really want to see them get the ball to Bailey just a little bit more. Linebackers shifting, and Caldwell's going to throw it outside, and that is going to be close to the sticks. Oh my goodness, I think the spin cost Bailey the first down, and we're going to see 3rd and inches coming up. This is a crucial play, as I'm not sure that Adam Lamar, the kicker for the Comets, has a leg strong enough for a 50-yard try. He was 3 for 3 last week in the loss to the Lions, though. 3 tight ends for the Comets. Inches to go. And they're going to hand it off to Bailey, and he's going to find the seam, breaks the tackle, and carries 2 defenders on his back. 1st down, International, and they are in the red zone. What a strong run from a very good running back. Breaks through the tackle of number 24, Ivan Brutley, and just a great drive so far here from the Comets as they look to answer the Southeast Raiders touchdown drive.
Bailey really carrying his team on the ground right now. We knew he was going to be a big part of this offense. Bailey getting the run for 4 yards there on 1st down. We knew if the Comets were going to have a good game, they need to get Benji Bailey going.
Yeah, they can't have another game like they had last week where he only had 39 yards rushing. And that's not, at the fault of the coach. They gave him the ball 25 times, but he just couldn't get it going. I don't know if it was the offensive line, but he also fumbled. Just a really bad game for him.
Random fun fact is every game that the Comets have won, he is one player of the game.
Kind of crazy.
Out route here is going to be caught. Momentum brought him back, and that's going to bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, Lewis Simmons had to come back a little bit too far for that one. Was able to turn it upfield for a couple yards, though, making it 3rd and definitely manageable here. Just 4 yards. Maybe give it off to Bailey again. He's had a lot of success on this drive and in this quarter.
3rd and 4. Caldwell under center is going to throw it into the end zone. Touchdown, Comets.
And who is that? That is number 86, Newell Pollard, the number 2 tight end. That's the first touchdown of his young career. And we're 1 point away from a tie ball game here in the first quarter.
I think that might be his first catch of his young career in a double coverage with Hayes and Witherspoon over the top. Nice throw from Caspian Caldwell.
Yeah, beautiful play. Fun fact about the Comets, they are 2nd in high school football in rushing yards per game, 100.6 per game.
Who's number 1?
Number 1 is North Central.
Even though that they have had 2 bad games.
Yep, they had 2 bad games, but North Central entering tonight's games were averaging 103.6 yards rushing per game.
Ford saying this is kind of like the Little League World Series with this game, Southeast versus Internationals.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, I wanted to go regional for the high school and then go kind of small, like Division II, Division III feel for the college teams. I think we did pretty good with those.
That was all you. I mean, I contributed exactly 1 team. UNA, baby.
Listen, I got to give you some credit.
University of Northern Alaska Snowhawks. That's my baby.
Yeah, you gave me the logo and the colors and
then the uniform. What did I do? Uniform?
No, you didn't do the uniform.
I did the logo.
You did the logo and the colors. And you were like, hey, have fun with the uniform. And then I spent 3 hours on it.
Hey, that logo is fantastic, though.
It's beautiful.
7-7 here in the first quarter, 12 seconds to go. We'll see what the Raiders are going to run. They're going to throw it Ives across the middle to Willie Morris, gain of 7.
Yep, safety blanket over and over again. I mean, I just feel like this man is just open every play. I call him a man. You know, he's a senior in high school, but he's a man amongst boys right now. Nobody can guard this guy. I don't care what linebacker's on him. Everybody is just a mismatch for him. And we got ourselves a pretty good ball game here, partner.
Good mix of offense and defense. As I said in the little live notification, defense wins championships. But what happens when an immovable object meets an unstoppable force? These two defenses have been fantastic, and it's kind of strength v strength.
Yeah, I love having the number 1 points against defense versus the number 2. It's such a great matchup.
2nd and 3. Gonna toss it to Davis, who, if he can get past this one guy, he has some space. He's gonna muscle his way for the first down nonetheless. And first down, Raiders.
Yeah, really tough run right there. I love the strength that he runs the ball with. Pete Reese and Travis Cook combined on the tackle. We haven't really heard Cook's name a whole lot these last couple weeks, and he was a player that we regarded pretty highly on that defensive line for the Comets.
He's been shut down. And, it's a good offensive line group from the Raiders as they're going to throw it out to Carter. Carter getting a couple there. 9.
There we go. Carter actually does play football. No, that is not Carter. That's Roosevelt Horton. So we still have not had a Ryan Carter sighting in the last 2 weeks. 0 catches for him. Horton, that's his 2nd catch here tonight, equaling his total from week 3.
Roosevelt Horton. He's ever since Jermaine Ackerman went down week 1, it's been a very depleted receiving core, and you need the guys like that to step up. They're going to run the delay to Davis, and Davis has nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the depleted receiving core, but with the loss of Ackerman, we really were able to see the light shine on Willie Morris because he wasn't really a name on the radar until that injury, and Morris has been without a doubt the number 1 target for Ives this season. He's been fantastic.
3rd and 1 now for the Raiders. Ives going to drop back to pass, and he's going to throw it. There looked like there's some holding there, but I guess they're going to call it. And Eric Owens pulls up on his hamstring, and I think that's what it was. It wasn't that he's got held. I think his hamstring, as he started limping on that and the route. Let's actually buzz down to the radio station to see if we can get a replay. Oh, look at that. Live replays.
Beautiful.
We have the greatest replay booth. Yeah, right there. If you look.
He's injured as he makes his cut.
Out of the cut, right
man.
Here. Just pulls up. And honestly, Ives got to be lucky that wasn't intercepted because of the miscommunication there. Owens, hope he's okay. Hope he recovers good. And for this sake of this Southeast receiving core, that could be a big loss. Not that he's been a big part of this offense.
Well, he was the number 2 receiver last week, having 6 for 50, but you never want to see an off-ball injury.
No, it's never good to see that. Offsides, though, you're going to go fake fullback toss, and lucky for them, they had a free play because that did not work.
No, that was awful play design. Definitely crumbled that piece of paper up and toss it in the burn bin. Get rid of it, but at least they got a free first down out of that. And that was number 70, Chris Hillman, the left end, who we also regarded pretty highly. Cook, Hillman, and Walker, just a bunch of studs on this defensive front. But a couple of them have been, pretty quiet as of late.
1st and 10 now for the Raiders. See what they can do. Who's the receiver who will step up in Owens' place? Ives steps up.
Oh, boy.
And he's going to look, and oh my goodness, he gets that to Davis, who jukes a man, and he gets, how on earth did he get 8 yards out of that?
I have no idea
how
he even saw that pass coming his way, but a great play by Cameron Davis picking up 8 yards. But you mentioned the receiving core. Who was injured? It was Carter, right?
Eric Owens.
No, Eric Owens. So that's the number 2 receiver, which at the start of the season, he was the number 3. So you're going to have your number 4, Ryan Carter, now move from the number 3 to the number 2 spot. We're going to see Damian Rambert and Corey Lawson fill in.
Willie Morris going to have to be a bigger part of this offense going down the stretch, and there he is converting first down. Big boy and Willie Morris, I think, top of most every CFA team's board when it comes to tight end.
Yeah, he's definitely looking like the most sure thing at the tight end position so far this season. He's just been lights out ever since that injury for Ackerman. He really stepped up and he's made a name for himself, and he's helped out his quarterback many times.
Ives going to throw it here on first down to Davis. Underneath, spins out one and gets 5.
That spin move is so quick, so deadly from Cameron Davis. I would hate to be a DB one-on-one downfield trying to make a stop on that big running back.
Second and 5 now, just tickling the edges of the red zone is the Raiders offense. And Ives drops back. He's going to hit, and he's going to go down. Who was that? Travis Cook. We talked about him not showing up. Well, there he is. Beats the tackle.
Oh, my goodness.
Clean shot on Ives.
Melville Forrester's son, what were you doing on that play? You were just dancing. I mean, he didn't even lay a single finger on the dangerous Travis Cook.
That's a guy who was in the top 25 coming into the season.
Well, not anymore.
3rd and 10 for Ives. He's going to throw the out route, and that's going to be a gain of 5, but the kicking unit's going to come out.
Yeah, they're in a tough spot here. They've lost 2 wide receivers on the season. Who's going to step up for that receiving core? I don't know. I mean, you're going to have to see some Damian Rambert, number 83, and Corey Lawson, number 87. I'm sure we'll see them at some point, but we haven't seen either of them at all this season. But Tim Markham on for his first field goal attempt in 2 weeks.
Trying to shake the rust off with this field goal. We'll see how he does. Good snap, good hold. Kick is up, kick is good, and the Raiders have a 10-7 lead.
Yep, nice kick there from Markham. He is hyped up. Got his team the lead, and that's his first kick in a couple weeks, like I mentioned. I mean, he's just been sitting on the sideline while the offense has been scoring touchdowns, and the defense has been, getting takeaways and stuff like that. But, it's never a bad thing when your kicker doesn't have to do a whole lot. You don't have to be upset about that.
Comets going to get the ball now after a solid drive from the Raiders offense. And what do you want to see out of this Comets defense? I'm assuming more Bailey.
Oh, absolutely. Give the ball to Bailey. That needs to be your game plan. Oh my goodness, Morabito almost broke that to the outside. If he got away from that last guy, say good night.
Caldwell has to be good. So far, no turnovers from either team. I think that's important. You have to win the turnover battle when you're playing such defensive teams. Can't afford to be sloppy on offense. But the Comets down, took a hand off to Bailey, right side, and just couldn't get enough blocking. Well read by the Raiders, and that's going to be 2nd down.
Yeah, great pursuit there from Tony Conley, the strong safety, coming up and run support. This defense is the most sound defense in all of high school. And the Comets, they have some definite strong suits for the Comets. Their front 7 is fantastic, but I think the Raiders have the most balanced defense out of all the teams.
Raiders defense setting up. Comets throw the out route, and 3rd and 4 coming up.
Yeah, I mean, even when
Eric
they're finding,
Owens.
Oh boy.
Well, I can't see it because of the graphic. We'll get you a look into the booth. Let's take a look at that injury report from the Raiders.
Take a quick gander.
Cramps. That's the best news that the Raiders faithful have had all season.
Yeah, fantastic news. They're going to get their number 2 receiver back. And I mean, that's huge because we have no idea what Rambert and Lawson bring to the table for that receiving core. So really good news for the Raiders.
Yeah, already struggling receiving core. That's Raiders fans just breathe a sigh of relief. Sidearm throw from Caldwell, and he's going to get the first down.
Man, and another massive collision. Tony Conley having himself a day. What a hit.
Yeah, nice job playing the wood by the Raiders defense. If you're going to throw those across the middle, you got to be prepared to take a big hit.
Absolutely.
First down and 10 now for the Comets. See if they go back to Bailey on the ground, whether they go back to the air. Let's see what they do. It's going to be the air with Caldwell. They're going to swing it out to the fullback. The fullback is going to get 3 yards.
Yep, Marquise Baton with a 3-yard reception. We haven't really called his name much this season, if at all.
Yeah, fullbacks. We have a couple good ones, and it's hard when you have the likes of Noble Bell and some of the other really good fullbacks we have in the country. He becomes a solid fullback. I think he gets underrated for his blocking abilities. Caldwell's going to throw it here, and Kazaman wide open. Dan Jackson breaks a tackle down the sideline and gets down inside the 20 to the 19.
Yeah, Dan Jackson, that's his 3rd reception of the day, and that is a big one as the Comets in great field position here. Tony Conley again. Oh my goodness, what a missed tackle by Brutley there, but Conley coming over to clean it up yet again. But they're in a great spot here to take the lead in the second quarter.
Iwoma has done good on his side. Brutley gave up a catch there. It looks like man coverage here for the Raiders. See what the Comets do. It's going to be a pass, and they're going to throw it at Iwoma, and Iwoma with perfect coverage is going to knock that one away.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm Caspian Caldwell, I'm not sure if I test Iwoma too many times this game.
Yeah, one of not the best cornerback in the country. Brett Iwoma really surged onto the scene. We really didn't have him on our radar, and he came out firing.
Yeah, he is so phenomenal.
Bailey is going to get a touchdown untouched on the left side. And if you go back, there's going to be offside, so this is going to stand. But there's a block by the receiver. Iwoma just got planted into the ground.
Yeah, he's not really known for run support. He's more of a shutdown corner, leave him on an island kind of guy. You don't want him to come up and try to make a tackle on a running back too often. Well,
fans here unhappy, but it was the right call. And it's going to give Comets a little lead here in the second quarter, and pending this extra point, it's going to be what? Can we see this on?
There had to have been offsetting penalties here. There's definitely offsides. There had to have been a hold as well because they're getting the ball right back at the 19-yard line. As we're taking a deep dive into, there's a flag on holding. Iwoma got held right there. Look at Simmons holding him down.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Great eye from the referee, and we kind of weren't even paying attention there. And all of a sudden now, that's the 3rd touchdown tonight that's been wiped off the board. If we go back to the first game of our doubleheader, we had 2 other rushing touchdowns that got wiped off by penalties. Chalk it up for a 3rd one. This is just not the night to score a rushing touchdown.
No, I guess not. And it was a really big factor in that North Central game against Pacific. 2 touchdown runs brought back from penalties. They had to settle for a field goal, and then the rest of the game they imploded, allowing 21 points in the 4th quarter, and they couldn't score again.
Caldwell going to throw underneath, and that's going to be short of the line to gain, 4th and 2, and we mentioned how penalties can matter. That's going to go from a touchdown to now they're going to be trying to go for 3 points. So a 4-point swing there for the Raiders.
Yeah, that's really tough. If you're the head coach, Duke Wesley, you got to send out Adam Lamar for the field goal. Great kicker, 3 of 3 last week. So I expect more of the same here on this one. But just really a tough pill to swallow there, having that touchdown wiped off.
Kick is up, and kick is good. Tie game here in Southeast. Lamar, perfect on the year, I believe.
Yeah, I don't think he's missed once, at least not in the last couple weeks. Now look at that one right down the middle. Just a really good kicker. Two really good kickers here tonight.
And that's something hard to find in high school football. It's hard to find consistently good kickers.
Yeah, you look at Pacific with Rod Shero. He does good in 1 week, and then the next week he goes 2 for 5. I hate to keep harping on the guy, but that's just what could happen here.
Ooh, Cameron Davis just got flattened.
I didn't catch the number of that train, but my goodness, he got up all hyped up and ready to go though. So if I'm the head coach, give him the football again here on a run.
He's obviously in one of those states where nothing's really going to bring him down. I agree. Give him an ISO right here. Pound it up the middle.
Absolutely. He is just juiced up after that hit.
For receiver set, though, for the Raiders. They're going to give it to Davis. Davis gets flattened again.
Wow, where was the pulling guard? He ran right by number 70, Chris Hillman, who just got a nice tackle for a loss of 5. Wow.
2nd and 15 coming up. Only 11 yards on the ground for Davis today, though he's had a major part of this offense. But the Comets doing a good job of keeping under wraps for the most part. Let's see what Ives can do here on 2nd and 15.
I don't think Owens is back yet.
Going to throw underneath, and that is, I think, the 5th string receiver.
Well, it's originally the 5th string, and now the number 4 receiver, Damian Rambert. That's his first career reception, as the Raiders are still looking to get Owens back out onto the field.
Yeah, we should see Owens sometime in the 3rd quarter, I'd assume. And that's going to be the 2-minute warning here in Southeast. The score 10-10. We have a tight one, and the Raiders have the ball, but it's a 3rd and long.
Yeah, nice low-scoring slugfest like I really wanted and really hoped for. I think we both did with these two juggernaut defenses. But let's see who explodes on offense. See if Ives can find a new target, a new favorite player to throw to.
3rd and 11. Ives going to take it himself, and what a play there by Steve Walker. I thought that he was gone, but Steve Walker said, no. You get your butt right back here.
Yeah, the acceleration there from Ives is really impressive. I thought for sure he was going to get that first down, but great awareness by Walker, reaching his big old mitt out there to bring Jasper Ives down short of the sticks. And we're going to see Wilson Bernard on the field for another punt for Southeast.
If you're looking at our community Discord, link in the description. A shameless self-promotion there. The community has International winning this game, but over twice the amount of coins have been bet on International. So it's a close voting-wise, but a lot more confidence in International in this game, and we'll see if that confidence is well placed as Comets get a chance to get some points before halftime.
Yeah, I think this game's going to come right down to the wire, just like a couple other games that we've had this season with these two defensive teams. Every game on the season for Southeast has been a one-score game, so I expect nothing less here today.
For Caldwell making some adjustments at the line of scrimmage, see if those come into play here. It's going to be a toss to Bailey, and Bailey has nowhere to go. No gain on the play. Witherspoon and Hayes on the tackle.
Yeah, Witherspoon and Hayes, really good players. Hayes had, he had 8 tackles last week, pass deflection, 2 assisted tackles, tackle for a loss. Just fantastic players, and I'll go over Witherspoon here in a moment after this play.
2nd and 10 now for the Comets. We see what they draw up here. They're letting the clock wind down a lot. Bailey with a run, averaging 4.5 yards per carry, but they're letting this clock run down all the way. If you're Southeast, would you let them run the clock out? Are you content going to halftime tied?
Yeah, I think I'm all right with the tie right here. The defenses are doing quite well. Neither team has really shown any signs of blowing this game open, so I think going in 10-10 is fine.
We're going to try to throw it here. Caldwell throws right side. He has a man, and that's going to set up a chance that they're going to take a timeout here in a minute. I don't think they're going to get this ball off. A chance for a Hail Mary here.
Yep, and It'll be a 55-yard pass, and I believe Caldwell definitely has the arm for this pass. But let's see who he tries to target here. See if he goes for Simmons. And we haven't really seen Morabito, who is the fastest receiver on the team.
Who's the tallest receiver on the team?
I think Lewis Simmons is the tallest one. Dan Jackson is a close second, I believe.
As we see them running out to the bottom of your screen right there. Always like to see this. We'll see if he even gets the ball off. Sometimes this guy, a lot of times on these Hail Marys, quarterback will just get sacked from the blitzing cornerback. But Cardwell stays on his feet. He's going to throw it. It's up. And it's going to be out of the back of the end zone. So a little bit of acrobatics to get that ball off, but it's not going to matter. We're going to go to halftime tied. The score is 10-10 here in Southeast.
Yeah, great play by Caldwell to break away from that first sack, though. That was a fantastic play. Just the fact that he was able to get that throw away was amazing.
Taking a look at halftime, low yardage totals as you would expect. 30, third down percentage, 71% for International, though.
Yeah, they've been really efficient on third downs this season. It's kind of crazy, but 71% to 20 for the Raiders. That has been the biggest difference so far. But in the long run, it hasn't mattered a whole lot. We're still tied 10-10. If I'm the Comets, I keep getting the ball to Bailey. He's made the most impact here so far for that offense. And if I'm the Raiders, I need to get Cameron Davis going. He's had a couple good runs, and the rest of them, they're just doing some really bad play designs, tossing it out to him with no lead blockers. And he's just getting crushed on those tosses.
Jay Washington in the chat saying, so no one's going to talk about that 70-yard throw?
I said he had the arm for it, man. I said he did.
It was a heck of a throw, honestly. And, I mean, be able to get out of the sack and chuck that one down the field. I think a couple CFA scouts, I think even a couple pro scouts just saw that and raised a couple eyebrows.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's no slouch at quarterback. Last week, he threw the ball 45 times, so the coach definitely has trust in him to get the job done. Unfortunately, they came up just short last week, with Caldwell throwing 2 picks. That was the first game that they had any turnovers on the entire season. They went into that game with 0. They ended up having 3, and that cost them the game. But no turnovers so far in this one.
And it's very early to say this, but I think outside of Fletcher Gross, I think that Caspian Caldwell might have the most pro-ready style of play at quarterback. I mean, he's very solid in how he plays, very meticulous, very accurate, very careful. And, that's something I think will translate well to the pro level once that comes around. But obviously that's a ways off. We got a little bit of high school to go before that. And we have a second half of this doubleheader to go. Tie game. Raiders can get the ball first. What do you want to see from this offense?
Get Cameron Davis involved, whether it's, running the ball or doing some swing passes. That's your top guy. You can't trust your receivers. Oh, my goodness.
Davis with a 40. Gets down to the 44-yard, just we talked about him. And that guy right there has the most explosion on this team that it really lacks a lot of explosion.
Yeah, get him the football. I don't care what you do. As long as you get the football in his hands, good things are bound to happen. I mean, look at this. Look at the great blocking on the outside there. Nearly took that the distance, and that would have blew this game wide open.
Parker Thomas saying that the music gives him medieval video game vibes.
Ooh,
I like that. I mean, I'm a sucker for medieval video game music, honestly. So I'm happy with that. 1st and 10 for the Raiders. They're going to throw with Ives under pressure. He's going to throw a post route. That's complete.
And that was Roosevelt Horton on the reception. I think that's his 3rd or 4th catch tonight. If it's his 4th, that doubles his total from last week.
Roosevelt Horton really showing up in this game. And we mentioned that someone in the receiving corps need to step up outside of Willie Morris, and maybe Horton's going to be that guy.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, we'll see. Last week, Owens had the better game out of all the receivers, 6 catches for 50 yards. The other 2 receivers were pretty much a no-show. But a decent game so far from Horton.
Drop back from Ives. Going to throw a post route again, and good defense.
It looked like it may have been pass interference, honestly. The safety looked like he got there just a second early and made contact with Morse and affected his attempt at catching that ball.
But no flag on the field. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 10. I think it's big that the Raiders get some points on this drive. You never know with these games if they're going to blow open all of a sudden. You don't know how many chances you're going to get against a good defense. Ives going to throw this out route to Woods, and the fullback loses 3.
And I don't like that play call. It's not even a swing pass. I mean, he runs and just stops. So that's so tough for a fullback to catch a pass like that and try to accelerate to move forward. And he just didn't stand a chance against a really good middle linebacker in Dylan Sharp.
It's going to bring him a 3rd and long, and now the arm of Ives will have to keep the drive alive. You get 4 receivers set, I would expect. Look for Horton, look for Morris on this one. Dime defense from the Comets. It's going to be a pump fake. He's going to throw it deep down the middle of the field. Incomplete, just overthrew Morris.
Yeah, and Dylan Sharp out there in coverage yet again at middle linebacker. Just out of reach for the big tight end. Almost had him, too. My goodness. And they're going to have to punt this ball away from the 41-yard line with Wilson Bernard, who did have a punt inside the 20 last week.
It's a shame to have to leave with no points being so close, but you get a chance here with a good punt to pin the Comets down inside the 5 maybe, though we know that doesn't stop them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 99-yard touchdown drive last week from Caldwell. They can do anything on offense.
The punt is going to land inside the 10, bounce inside the 5, and what a bounce. It's going to pin it at the 3. We mentioned pinning them deep. Well, that was about as perfect as you can get.
Yeah, I mean, Wilson Bernard, hats off to you, son. What a punt that was. Great coverage down there to down it inside the 5-yard line. But again, Caspian Caldwell last week, 99-yard touchdown drive to keep his team in that game. Let's see if he's got any magic on this one.
1st and 10 now from inside the 5. They're going to hand it off to Benji Bailey. Benji Bailey, great play by Hayes to get that. He took the wrong hole and still got the tackle.
Yeah, Hayes, just great vision there to find the smaller running back, Benji Bailey. Great tackle. Loss of 1. Hayes has been a tackling machine this season.
Platinum Bean, welcome in. Yeah, what a great punt that was. One of the best punts we've seen this week. 2nd and 11 here. They're going to hand off to Benji Bailey up the middle. Tries to spin out a man very unsuccessfully, and he's lucky that forward progress is a thing.
Yeah, and look who it was on the tackle. The number 1 corner in high school, Brett Iwoma, coming up and run support. Just a gain of 1, but what a massive hit by the smaller corner.
3rd and 10 coming up for the Comets. They're going to hand off to Bailey up the middle again. Tries to spin again, and he only gets 1. 4th and 9, so a net 1 yard on this drive, and they're going to have to punt it right back to Southeast as the defense comes up in a big way.
Yeah, the number 2 free safety, Jason Benson, coming up and making a really nice tackle. And we're going to see Riddell Sidney yet again punt this one away. So Raiders going to be in great field position. I'd love to see them get Davis in the football a little bit more on this coming drive.
Great punt block protection there. No one even got close. And not much of a return from Johnny Durango, but that's going to be a decent, very decent field position for the Raiders starting at the 33-yard line.
Yeah, nearly in field goal range already for Tim Markham. I'd like to see him get at least 5 more yards to set him up for a game-changing field goal here. Would give him the lead here in the 3rd quarter.
1st and 10 now for Ives out of the shotgun. 4 receivers. Let's see where you go. No Willie Morris on the field, so we'll see who he targets. He's going to throw it deep, and he has his man, but he cannot bring it in.
Yeah, and that was Damian Rambert again, the number 4 receiver. So I don't think Eric Owens is still out there just yet, if I'm not mistaken, but just a 2nd target for Rambert.
Rambert just couldn't bring it in. Big hit brought on him by the safety. That brings up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, it's just a tough spot to be in. If you're Jasper Ives, you're without your number 2. You're already lost your original number 1. It's like, you just don't know who to trust in that receiving core.
2nd and 10, they're going to hand it off to Davis. Left side, Davis with some speed. Davis is down inside the 15 to the 11.
There's that man again. Get him the football, please. I mean, he's so good. Look at the acceleration. He touches this ball, and I feel like as soon as he gets it, he's already 10 yards downfield. He's outrunning all of his blockers. I mean, number 60, Doyle Rose. I mean, he didn't stand a chance to even lay a finger on anybody to block him. And they're set up in great field position now at the 11.
Who needs blockers when you can just outrun everybody, right?
Exactly.
Shotgun formation from the 11. They can get a first down at the 1-yard line. They're going to toss it to Davis out of shotgun. Davis is going to spin back inside and only gain up 1. If he had just kept that to the outside, I think he could have just outran everybody.
Yeah, he might have been able to score there. If not score, I mean, he at least would have got that inside the 5-yard line. It was wide open. I'm not sure about the decision to spin back to the inside.
2nd and 9 now for the Raiders. They've drawn up Ives to throw it. Stepping up. He's stepping around, looking around the pocket. Plenty of time. Dodges 1 sack. He's going to try to run for it, and he's going to go down.
Oh, my goodness. Cook, his 2nd sack of the game. 3 tackles, all for a loss. And that was after we said he's been pretty quiet these last couple weeks. So he definitely hurt us all the way up here in the booth. And this is a big play coming up for Jasper Ives in this offense.
It's essentially a 3rd and goal from the 14. You can technically get a first down, but you have to get to the 1-yard line. Ives, what is he going to do? He's going to throw it underneath, and that's just not what you need.
No, it's a safe play. Just checking it down. You got your guy, Roosevelt Horton, and now you're right in the middle of the field. Easy field goal coming up for Tim Markham to take the lead. But again, we still do not see Eric Owens on the field. We may not see him for the rest of this ballgame, maybe late in the 4th quarter.
Field goal should be a chip shot, just a little bit longer than an extra point. Kick is up, and the kick is good, 23 yards. And that's going to give the Raiders the lead 13-10. And this defensive struggle has lived up to the hype.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the offenses are doing all they can right now, but they're going up against the best defenders in high school on both sides. So yeah, it's just really, really tough sledding. But, you know, they're duking it out. They're giving it their all.
Yeah, the battle of the number 2 overall prospect versus the number 1 overall cornerback. Morabito's going to take this one out and get to the 29-yard line. So the Comets going to start this drive and their chance to respond.
Yep, got to go back to Benji Bailey. He's been pretty good for you tonight. I'd like to see him go to Lewis Simmons on some passes. We haven't really seen him since the 1st quarter. Dan Jackson's been the go-to guy, and I have not called Clinton Royal's name, number 88, at the tight end spot once tonight after he had a great game last week, 9 for 87.
First down now for the Comets. Caldwell throws across the middle, and that was a poor decision. He tried to force into Dan Jackson, but there was 3 defenders.
Yeah, and that's the right end, number 79, Roosevelt Holland, with the deflection. I mean, you know, he's just out there in pass coverage. You love to see it. He had 2 sacks last week as well, 2 tackles for loss. Really good game from him. Nice to see him out there in pass coverage, though.
Roosevelt Horton and Roosevelt Holland. Not related in the slightest, but they sound almost identical. 2nd and 10, and we'll see what they can go to Bailey up the middle. Bailey is going to find his way for 8 yards.
Man, he almost broke loose on that one. Mike Whale, the center, was downfield trying to find somebody to block. But another nice run, pickup of 8 for Bailey. 3rd and short coming up. Let's see if they go right back to him on this one.
They're in a formation they could run out of, they could pass out of. Let's see what they do. And they're going to go the delay run, and Bailey is going to fall forward and muscle his way for a first down. He took Walter Cokes another yard.
Yeah, I mean, that you don't see that very often. A running back taking on Walter Cokes one-on-one, head-to-head, and he fell forward and actually moved the chains for this offense.
First down and 10 here for Caldwell. He's going to throw it. Caldwell stepping around and hit as he throws. And he's lucky that that's incomplete. He got drilled into the ground by Rhodes.
Yeah, Curtis Rhodes. It's the second time he's got back there tonight and affected a pass. And that was a huge hit on Caspian Caldwell. Luckily for the Comets, he was able to get up on his feet.
Second and 10 now for Caldwell. He's going to toss it to Bailey. Bailey is going to get tackled. What a play there by number 79, Holland, to get back there and snuff that out.
Yeah, Roosevelt Holland making a couple plays on this drive. A deflection, now a tackle at the line of scrimmage, and a big play for this Comets offense coming up with about 4.5 minutes left in the third.
Third down and 10. See what they draw up. Caldwell drops back. Good protection. Going to throw it deep middle of the field, and it's intercepted by Witherspoon. He was looking for number 80. We were looking for Morabito, and Witherspoon said, no. That's our ball.
Yeah, Lewin Witherspoon, the free safety, with a great play. Now, the safeties for the Raiders had a fantastic game last week. They had 7 tackles each, and now we see Witherspoon showing that he's got some hands as well.
Witherspoon with a timely interception is going to give the Southeast Raiders a chance to tack on some more points to this lead, and they've been very solid. And that's the first turnover of the day. We said that whoever wins the turnover battle is going to win the game. Well, right now that means the Raiders. The pressure Ives gets out of it, but he can't get out of 2, and he's going to go down loss of 9. That was Travis Cook again. That was Hillman. Excuse me. Hillman and Cook both got there, but it was Hillman who finally brought him down.
Yep, Hillman, Cooks, getting some sacks here. I mean, just great pressure, and you want to keep Ives upright. He was sacked twice last week. Already sacked 3 or 4 times here tonight, and you just don't want to see that if you're the head coach.
Second and 19 now for Ives. 4 receivers set. Ives, plenty of time. He's going to throw as he runs, and he hits his man in the hands, and it's the 4th stringer again who can't bring it down.
Yeah, they really need Eric Owens to get back out onto the field, because that'll put Ryan Carter in that spot. And Carter definitely, I mean, he didn't have any catches last week, but he's got to have better hands than Damian Rambert right now.
Third and 19. Ives under pressure, and he's going to go down. Steve Walker brings him down. He had no chance to throw that one.
Man. That defensive line getting a lot of pressure on Ives now, and 4th and 23 coming up. That is not what you want to see.
Not what you wanted to see at all. Raiders unable to capitalize on the interception. They're going to have to punt it away, and the Comets defense bails out the offense. Good punt from the Raiders, and the Comets get the ball at 3rd and 9.
Yeah, Wilson Bernard with just a booming kick right there. My goodness, all the way to the 39-yard line. One of the better punts we've seen this week.
First and 10, see if they can do a little bit better than the interception they had on their last drive. They haven't gotten much going on the second half so far. Outside of Bailey. Bailey's been their key, and they're going to go to him here. But maybe not on the delay. Dre Raines going to be back there to make the tackle.
Yeah, Dre Raines, another one of those top prospects for the Raiders. He's been having a fantastic season at that defensive tackle spot. Loss of 4. And the delays for both teams, I mean, the toss plays for the Raiders, too, have just been killing them.
2nd and 14 now after the loss. And Caldwell's going to throw it. Good protection. He's going to pump once, throw it left side. Intercepted again. Lewin Witherspoon again.
Wow. Lewin Witherspoon. Oh, my goodness. 2 picks on back-to-back drives. Let's see if the Raiders can capitalize on this. But, Oh, what a terrible throw that was. Wow. I can't believe how bad of a throw that was from Caspian Caldwell. He's thrown 4 picks in the last 2 games.
Stared down his receiver the entire way, and it cost him really his worst performance of the season. Throws out to Davis, who spins out one man and going to get 7.
Yeah, really good spin after the catch by Davis. He's been, putting a lot of people through the spin cycle this season. It's been really fun to watch.
Call him the washing machine. Travis Cook, 2 sacks, 4 tackles on the day. He's had a solid day. I mean, this whole defensive line, one of the best in the country. And now 2nd and 3 for the Raiders. I formation. Cameron Davis, of course, dotting the I. Going to throw out of it, though. And they're going to throw to Woods, the fullback. This time, the fullback's going to get the first down.
Yeah, really nice finding the fullback wide open out in the flats. I think he just got lost. The secondary just lost him.
Got to make sure you don't get lost in the sauce, and he got lost in the sauce.
Oh yeah, he's gone.
First down and 10 now for the Raiders. Gonna hand it off to Davis, and Davis well contained there by Hillman and others to force that loss of 1.
Yeah, that was Dan Simmons, brother of Lewis Simmons, on the tackle as well. I mean, just doing a great job swarming to the football now. And the Comets might be forcing Jasper Ives to win this game with his arm right now. They're really focusing in on the running game.
That's the game plan I would take with this team. I mean, nothing against Ives, but this receiving core has been, it's not what it needs to be, and so it's hard for Ives to really carry this team. He's made some good throws that just got dropped by his receivers, and his receivers got to step up a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's hard. You lost Eric Owens. You've been without your number 1 receiver all season. I mean, who's going to step up other than Willie Morse? We just haven't been able to find that out just yet.
Ives throws out route, almost a miscommunication, but he managed to catch that one. And that's big because that gets you a few more yards for a field goal here, 4th and 1. Or if you're going to go for it, this brings that on the table as well. It does look like they will kick the 3, though.
No, they're sending out number 9, Wilson Bernard, for the punt, which is surprising. I think Tim Markham has the leg for this.
Wow. Let's hope that we don't see one of those fake punts right here for the Raiders. We do not. They're going to punt it away, trusting the defense. You can't fault the strategy, but not a good punt at all, only to the 13.
Well, another punt inside the 20. I mean, that's one way to look at it, but just a net of 17 yards for Wilson Bernard. But that's, I think, his 2nd or 3rd punt inside the 20 here tonight.
Get your fours up in the chat. That's going to do it here in Southeast as the Raiders hold on to a lead 13-10 in a defensive slugfest.
Yeah, can they hang on? Can they get this stop here, get the ball back maybe, get a touchdown, put this game out of reach?
1st and 10 for the Comets. Going to be Caldwell throw. He's going to throw it deep again. No fear from him, and he's going to get it this time right in front of Lewin Witherspoon. Man, throws 2 picks to Witherspoon. What does he do? Go right back at him.
Yeah, why not? I mean, he's showing no fear. He did that exact thing last week. He had those 2 picks and still came out slinging it. So, I like the mindset, just forget about the picks and keep going with your game plan.
First and 10 now for the Comets from the 34-yard line, making a little, looks like a little adjustment at the line of scrimmage. See what he does, if it works. Caldwell drops back to throw. Good pocket like he's had so often. The right side has a man wide open down to the 43-yard line.
Yeah, that's Dan Jackson. He is having a heck of a game. 4 catches, 73 yards so far. I mean, just fantastic performance. I think they're focusing a lot more on Simmons, which is allowing Jackson to get open more.
Last week we wondered where Jackson was if he had gotten off the bus. This week he is definitely shown up in a big way.
Absolutely.
First and 10 now for the Comets. Across the middle. Intercepted again. Hayes this time brings it in. And that's number 3 for Caspian Caldwell. He can't believe it.
Okay. This defense is going crazy right now. You get a pick. You get a pick. I mean, my goodness, what was the receiver doing? He slid down to his knees to try to catch it. Didn't help out his quarterback at all. But how about the Comets? They have been a turnover machine the last 2 weeks. They went into their last game with 0. They had 3 in that loss. They've got 3 here today. I mean, does that spell another loss here for International?
And you notice Southeast, no turnovers today. Was on pace to be the first game with no turnovers. That throw, the out route, is going to be complete for 7 yards. And they have had 4 turnovers, 4 takeaways on the. You're not really stand out in either of those, but this would be their number 1 performance from their defense.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they're about to double their their takeaway total on the season in 1 game.
Hand off up the middle. Davis is going to get tackled. Not much there. Good tackle from the defensive line.
Yeah, he's only averaging 3.7 per carry right now, but, they just keep giving it to him. They know that he's bound to break one. He does have a touchdown run here today. He had 2 last week. But, I mean, that's your playmaker. You've got to keep trying to get him involved.
Handoff. What a vision from Davis. It bounces outside, and he's down inside the 30. Man, that looked like that was going to be stopped, but instead a big run from Cameron Davis.
Yeah, fantastic run by Davis. Great vision. I don't know how he was able to squeeze through here as we take a look at this replay. Look at that. Oh, my goodness. Just following number 69, was it? I didn't quite see that number. But, my goodness, great play.
And now first down and 10 for the Raiders. Chance to go up by 2 scores here. Ives drops back. Good protection. Out route. Caught and 4 yards.
And still no Eric Owens, but we're seeing a little bit more Ryan Carter here on this drive. 2 catches so far as they inch closer to the red zone.
Second and 6. We'll see what they do here. Ive drops back to throw. He's going for the end zone shot. Touchdown, Willie Morris.
Wow, just completely wide open. Ran right by the linebackers. I mean, I don't even think they had a shot at all. The safety never even saw him. He got over there way too late. I believe that was David Russell, number 26. And yeah, he does not stand a chance one-on-one coverage with a playmaker like Willie Morse.
And the Raiders up, about to be 20-10 here at home in front of the fans. The Comets in danger of falling to 500 after a 2-0 start. What are you thinking right now?
I mean, you got to keep giving the ball to Caldwell. I mean, they shied away from Bailey, and they've been making Caldwell throw the football, which has resulted in 3 interceptions this game. But at this point, you got 7:43 left on the clock. Now you need your quarterback to throw it, and you need to make smart decisions with those passes.
See what they can do here on the kickoff. Kick is away, and see what Morabito, if he can create a spark for them. Penalty, flag flies, and he is going to get flattened.
Yeah, that's going to be holding or clipping, no doubt, and that'll back him up.
Going to be holding, and on the Comets, so they're going to be backed up big time.
Yeah, that's not how you wanted to start this drive. I mean, that's Pollard, Newell Pollard. Didn't he have the touchdown reception in this game? First of his career, I believe.
I think so.
And now he just makes a bonehead mistake, and they're backed up to the 23-yard line.
First and 10 now for the Comets. He's going to throw it. Caldwell, plenty of time across the middle, and almost picked off by Cokes.
Wow. I mean, these linebackers are out here just running the routes for the receivers, and that was Clinton Royal. That's the first target of the game for the tight end who had a really good game last week. 9 catches, 87 yards, but he has not been a part of this game plan at all. And I think that has to do with the fact that this is the best linebacking group in all of high school football. It's just hard to get open against these guys.
Yeah, it's got to play a solid part. As going to be handoff to Bailey up the middle, and Bailey's going to get a few. But 3rd and 7 coming up here. Are you already in the spot where you think about going for it on 4th down if it's close?
Maybe if they were closer to the 50-yard line, I would say yes. But they're only at the 25 right now. If they don't get it, I mean, the Raiders have a good shot at scoring pretty quickly after that.
3rd and 7 now for the Comets. Caldwell drops back out route. He has his man. It's going to be out of bounds, 4th and 1, and so that situation is brought up. And what will Duke Wesley do? Will he decide to go for it? It looks like he's going to send his punter out and trust his defense.
Yeah, that was a great throw, but Simmons just unaware of where the sticks are. Just has to reach that ball out and just can't quite do it. And that's going to be a costly mistake, I think. They're going to have to punt this one away with 7 minutes left in this one.
Yeah, I think that's going to be one that's going to come back to bite him. I mean, you got to run that out route a little bit deeper if you are Simons in that place. Or Simmons, I always say his name one way or the other. But the punt is away, and it's going to be fielded by Cameron Davis, 35-yard lines, where the Raiders are going to pick this up. That was actually Johnny Durango. We have not seen too much of this season. I'm curious to see what he'll do when given an opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a good shot at, getting some playing time at one of the 24 colleges out there. It'll be interesting to see where he ends up.
Of course, if you want to follow every step of the way, don't forget to slap that like button, subscribe, and join the Discord. Cameron Davis is going to, weasel his way for a yard, and that's about it. 5.2 on the ground, 57 yards rushing, and a touchdown. I think that the stat line is deceivingly bare. He's been a big part of this offensive performance, and right now he's my player of the game for Southeast.
Yeah, other than
Witherspoon
with 2 interceptions, he's
offensive.
Definitely the best player on offense. Yeah, that's for sure.
2nd and 9 for the Raiders, and this is a drive that they could really take the game in their hands. But Davis is going to break a tackle, and Davis is going to take the ball all the way down to the 43-yard line. I was about to say, this is really a drive that the Raiders can take this game by the throat and strangle it. And Davis, man, he's stepping up to the challenge.
Yeah, this is the part of the game where he really thrives. His team has the lead. He knows that he just needs to just keep moving forward, and he is such a load to take down. Always breaking a tackle and getting yards after contact. I would hate to try to have to tackle this guy, especially late in the game when he's a man on a mission.
Comets on their heels now as the Raiders inside of the international territory. Ives going to throw it underneath. Good throw for only 3 yards, but that he threaded a needle on that one.
Yeah, Ryan Carter with a nice catch there. Nothing too crazy, just moving the ball forward a little by little. And I expect them to go right back to Cameron Davis because we still have not seen Eric Owens. I think he is done for. No, he's actually on the field. I just saw number 19 at the top of the screen.
Speak of the devil, and he will appear apparently as Eric Owens, top of the screen, like Klein mentioned. Ives is going to throw underneath though to Horton, and Horton's going to pick up 2 for a 3rd and 5.
Yep, decent position right here. I mean, you can really do anything out of your playbook. You got your number 2 receiver back. You can maybe stretch the field a little bit, or you can just go back to the old reliable Cameron Davis out of the backfield.
They're in a formation that they could do either one. 3rd and 5. See what they're going to call it. They don't get it. They're most certainly going to punt it. Ives going to throw it across the middle. He has Morris. What a throw. Found the soft spot of the zone, and that's going to keep the drive alive.
This offense doesn't have a lot of yards on this season, but they sure are fun to watch, man. They get the ball to Willie Morris, and Cameron Davis gets going. It's really fun to watch this offense.
Jasper Ives he's been really showing up when his team has needed it the most, and he's done a good job at elevating the talent around him, I think, especially these last 2 weeks. First down and 10 now at the 29. Still, I don't think inside field goal range. Davis is going to try to change that, but he cannot. Good tackles from the defense.
Yeah, you mentioned Ives, lifting up the talent around him. He doesn't get a lot of yards, but he gets, crucial yards. When the team needs him the most, they just somehow find a way to get him. And, I think that's what makes it fun. Like, it's not a high-powered offense, but you got Willie Morris out here making just clutch catches, moving the chains, and Cameron Davis running people over. It's really just a blast.
2nd and 10 now as the Raiders try to ice this game. Going to toss it to Davis, and he's going to get tripped up. And this is a big down now. 3rd and 13 from the 33. This is outside of field goal range. They've punted from here before. They punted from a couple yards closer before. So this is really an important down for the Comets to stay in this.
Yeah, they got to get a few yards here, or this whole drive is basically a waste. Other than the wasted clock, that's for sure. But got to get forward, get 5-6 yards maybe here.
The guy I'm looking for is Willie Morris, and if you're the defense, double that man, triple that man, put your entire defense on that man. But you can't let Willie Morris beat you on this down. If you have any chance of a comeback, and we know International has had some magic, you have to keep them out. And Willie Morris isn't even on the field for this play. I don't agree with that call right there, but we'll see. 3rd and 13 here. Ives is going to hand it off to Davis. He's going to lose 4 yards, and they're going to punt it.
Yeah, they might be able to run the clock all the way down to the 2-minute warning, though, so there's a bit of a silver lining. And, International still has 3 timeouts, but they are in a pretty deep hole right now, down 10 points very late in this ball game. But just a tragic end to that drive. But onto the field, Wilson Bernard, he's got several punts inside the 5, or inside the 20, one inside the 5 here tonight.
And honestly, you can't really hate the call from the coach with how with how this game has gone. As the punt is going to land at the 6 bounce. What a play! Oh my goodness!
What? Who was that? I did not see the number. It's Superman. There's an S on his chest.
We are going to the field live for a replay of that because that deserves another look. As punt was a little off center. The punt was a beautiful punt. And it was
number 21, Manuel Webb, the nickel corner, with the best play of his career.
And I was just about to say it before that happened. I mean, with how this game's gone, you can't really fault the decision from Bart John. Trust your defense, to stop a 95-yard touchdown drive. I think I'd take that bet.
Yeah, it's just been a game of field position battles, and I'm loving it.
Caldwell throwing a deep left side, and Owoma is going to shut that down. Tom Schaefer asking, who's 96 on International? That's a big boy.
Ooh, that is defensive tackle Bradford Soto.
Bradford Soto.
Yeah, he plays next to Steve Walker, so he doesn't really get a whole lot of shine, but he does definitely make an occasional play here and there.
Tom saying Webb like Spider-Man.
Absolutely.
2nd and 10 now from the 5. Caldwell going to throw it under pressure, and it's going to be almost picked off.
Goodness.
Number 21 almost.
Webb
Almost jumped the route.
Man, Webb with a great down on that punt and almost has a pick. He probably would have taken this in the end zone here. He jumped that so well. Oh my goodness. Man, Caldwell, he is just on one tonight. 3 interceptions. He almost threw one to Owoma on the previous play, and now to Webb. I mean, I just don't think he sees the DBs.
Yeah, he heard me praise him for being a pro-ready QB and decided to change my mind.
Well, Brett Favre threw a lot of picks too. So.
3rd and 10. We'll see what they can draw up here. Defense has been astounding. under pressure. He throws it. He has his man wide open on the out route. He's going to keep the drive alive. He does get out of bounds to stop the clock.
Wow, that was a great play. Great heads-up play by Lewis Simmons, catching that, running, and getting some extra yards, getting out of bounds before Jason Benson can bring him down. Man, that was so close. He barely reached the sideline.
Great awareness from him to make sure to stop the clock. And look at Caldwell, his worst game of the season by far.
Oh, yeah. He doesn't even have a touchdown. Oh, he does have one touchdown to the backup tight end, I believe, Newell Pollard.
Caldwell to throw across the middle, and it's going to be caught. Tight window throw, and he gets it in there.
No huddle look now. Let's see what they can do. See if they test them downfield.
See what the Southeast defense can do. They, I think, want one more pick. Do they have it in them? Going to throw the swing route to Bailey. That's only going to be 3.
That's a wasted play to Bailey. Walter Cokes with the tackle.
2nd and 7 now. Caldwell to throw.
Oh, boy.
Check down underneath again. Another wasted play.
Keep checking it down. Walter Cokes is just on Bailey every single play.
3rd and 4. Caldwell under pressure, out route. There it is, and he gets out of bounds.
Yeah, that's Simmons again. Getting a nice catch, turning up the field, getting some extra yards, getting out of bounds, stopping the clock. They still have all 3 timeouts. They're trying to save them here. They want to get some points on the board. Try an onside kick maybe, but they're really cutting it close. Running out of time, just 51 seconds left.
They do have all 3 timeouts, which they need to kind of keep, but you got to score quick here. He had a man on the go route. It's going to be knocked up in the air, and luckily for International, falls to the ground. I think he had Simmons on the go. Owoma was a little step behind, but we know Owoma's speed. He may have been able to catch up.
Yeah, Owoma has really great closing speed, but how about the front 7 there? Getting the deflection, nearly getting the pick. Ivan Brutley was the closest one to picking that one off.
2nd and 10 now for International. Caldwell changing the play at the line. I think he's really just shuffling the deck chairs on the Titanic, but you do you. Caspian now to swing for the screen. Turns it up in the middle of the field, and that's going to be the first time out.
Wow, such a wasted play there. I mean, you get 2 yards. Bailey with a bonehead play, cutting it back inside. He easily could have ran to the outside and probably got 5 or 6 yards and got out of bounds. But now just 41 seconds left. This is a tough spot for International.
They have to hit a deep shot quickly, and that's been hard against this Southeast defense. 3rd and 8 here. 4 receivers on the field for Caldwell. Underneath, check down. Falls forward, so make this a little bit easier 4th down.
Yeah, 4th and 3, but, they wasted another timeout. I mean, this, man, really poorly called plays on this drive, I think.
We'll see if this comes back. The clock management comes back to bite them, as this game is pretty much out of reach at this point. Caldwell going to get the first down to keep the drive going at least, but not much hope left here in International.
Yeah, I mean, Simmons is killing them on the out routes, but they're just not moving down the field fast enough, and they're only at the 39-yard line. This drive has felt like it's taken forever.
And it's been the slowest, most time-consuming hurry-up drive I've ever seen.
Yeah, exactly.
Caldwell across the middle. It's going to be tipped and incomplete. Dre Raines.
Man, Dre Raines getting the deflection at the line of scrimmage. He may have got the one earlier on in the drive as well. But again, the D-line getting pass deflections, getting those big old mitts up in the air.
Second and 10 now for Caldwell, who still manages to keep this drive stumbling down the field. He's going to chuck it deep, and it's going to be incomplete. Lewin Witherspoon would have had another pick if he turned around.
Yeah, he never saw the ball. It hit him in the back of the helmet. My goodness, but not a great throw from Caldwell, who's really struggling here tonight.
Yeah, definitely his worst game of the season. This Raiders defense, I think, is taking the cake for best defense in the country.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, they're holding International 10 points. You look at Caldwell's stats last week, threw it 45 times, 37 completions, 302 yards. Does he even have half of those passing yards tonight? I'm not sure.
I don't even know if he has 200 at this point.
Yeah, it's been really tough sledding.
Third down again. Caldwell going to throw it. It tipped away. Fourth down and 10. The Raiders have a chance to end the game.
Look at that. 18 targets for Lewis Simmons, 11 catches. But Jason Benson with a nice deflection there. 4th and 10. This is a really tough spot. I mean, even if you get this, you'd have to call your next timeout and maybe kick a field goal and then try an onside kick. There's really not a whole lot of time left for what they need to accomplish.
Gonna line up, though. We'll see if they can get it. They still have one timeout, technically. Not that means much. We'll see what they run here on 4th down. Under pressure, he's going to chuck it up, and it's going to be picked off. Who else? Lewin Witherspoon with his third hat trick is complete.
Wow.
The Raiders knock off the Comets to go to 3-1.
Absolutely unbelievable performance from the Southeast Raiders defense. Look at that. Oh, my goodness. I'm not sure what Simmons is doing, just falling down like that. And another great return from Witherspoon with 4 INTs for Southeast. I mean, this is just rough to watch if you're an international fan. Caldwell has thrown 6 interceptions to just 2 touchdowns in their 2 games that they've just played.
Lewin Witherspoon, I think, as that final timeout's called, I think Lewin Witherspoon is about to get our first defensive player of the game.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I don't see anybody else having any kind of stats worthy of player of the game here tonight for either team.
If he doesn't get it, we may have to make a rule exception and edit him into the player of the week vote, because that has been a fantastic performance by Witherspoon. And Southeast, first hat trick, and Southeast dominates International in the second half en route to a 20-10 win. Man, what are your thoughts?
This is also the first game for the Raiders that was not a 1-score game at the end. So they get a 10-point victory, just total domination. And man, do the Raiders play? When do the Raiders play the Lions? Because I think those are our 2 best schools so far this season, and I don't even think it's close right now. I mean, International just taken to the woodshed. 4 interceptions. How do you compete with that?
Week 6. Mark it on your calendars. Southeast at South Central.
Whew. I can't wait for that. That's game of the week already. Mark it for a Thursday. Man.
What a game by this team. And really, the Raiders, not a bunch of offensive stats, but they played a very safe game. And we said in pregame that the team that turned the ball over least was going to win the game. And the Raiders did that. They were very smart with the football. They didn't do too much. They played within themselves, and they won. They relied on their defense and won this game.
Yeah, I mean, Lewin Witherspoon, did he just solidify himself as the best free safety in high school football right now?
I think so.
Really, really strong case for it. First ever hat trick in High School Football Alliance history. And, I mean, he made it look easy. Hayes was out there getting picks, too. I mean, my goodness. They were just tearing Caldwell apart. And Jasper Ives, extremely efficient here tonight. When they needed a third down conversion, they got it. Willie Morse gets that touchdown right there. Just wide open. Markham 2 for 2 field goals. And Davis produced when he needed to.
Another thing to note, this is the lowest points allowed by a team since week 1 Northeast Jays against, guess who? The International Comets.
Wow. Very interesting stat there.
Yeah, I think this is going to be interesting. And if you look ahead for these 2 team schedules, player of the game, hold on. Lewin
Yes.
Witherspoon with it. 3
He had
interceptions.
7 tackles, 2, and a deflection. What a performance from Lewin Witherspoon, putting his name on the map. I mean, the scholarship offers are going to have to be flooding in after this performance.
That's going to do it for our crew here in the HCU studios. Thank you for stopping by, and we will come back with more high school football action. That will be game of the week coming up this Thursday, and that is Southwest Titans at South Central Lions. Offense. So stay tuned for that one. We look forward to seeing you then. But until then, have a good night.
Take it easy, guys.